Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill. Let's get it. Everyone thought it wasn't supposed to be you, but God didn't care what they wanted. He still chose you anyway. All right. Everyone thought it wasn't supposed to be you, but God didn't care what they wanted. People want things to go the way they want, and people feel things should go the way they feel they should go. They feel you're supposed to be a deadbeat, you're supposed to be a deadbeat. If they feel you're supposed to be stupid, you're supposed to be stupid. If they feel you're supposed to be dumb or idiot or can't dress, bad looking, ugly, whatever, there are some people who feel that you're supposed to be something that fits their narrative. And when you work your way outside of that, it makes them think that they're less than you. And you're not trying to put yourself above anyone, but people who view themselves as better than others aren't going to want anyone to be better than them, especially those who they feel are better. They're not going to understand that God chose you. They wanted it to be them. They thought they were the one, and we're all special, we're all unique in our own way, but there are specific people chosen to do specific things. God handpicks and selects certain people for certain things. What they were picked for wasn't what you were picked for. What you were picked for isn't what they were picked for. They were meant to be what they were meant to be. And the thing is, they may not even went out to go be that or to go do that. But you were selected, handpicked to be who you uniquely are. And that's why good things are going to happen to you. They didn't think you were supposed to be the one to become successful and to be able to make sure that everyone is okay. They didn't feel that you were supposed to get bigger than you already are, or hit it big, or make your dream come true. They didn't think you were the one that was going to be able to be one of the richest people they ever knew. They didn't know that you were going to be one of the successful people that they ever knew. They had no idea that you were going to set out to do all these things. But you had a vision, you had an idea, you were the one getting downloads, letting you know that I think there's something greater to my life. I think there's something better I'm supposed to be doing with my time. And that's why you don't play with your time. That's why you probably don't associate with many people. That's why you probably keep your circle very small. All right. You don't want to be around people who didn't expect it to be you. You didn't want to be around people who didn't think it wouldn't be you. Of course, they didn't think it wouldn't be you. But it's like they make you feel like you're stupid. They make you feel guilty for doing it. We all have time. We can all do something with ourselves. But they didn't feel that you should do anything with yourself. Some people will complain about what you do, sitting around, eating up food, not doing anything with your life. You might not have the best job, and people will talk about you. But then when you go to aspire for greater, they'll get in the way of what you're trying to do. That is the definition of insanity. When people will talk about you, say you're nothing, and then when you go to actually become something, so they can no longer say that you're nothing, that's when they start to have an issue, because you're destroying their narrative. You know how many people they've talked to you about behind your back, and they told that, oh, this person isn't anything. This person isn't going to do anything. This person is worthless. And now you're actually seeing the worth in yourself because you value yourself and you know just how far you can go. But everyone thought it wasn't supposed to be you. You were supposed to be a loser. You were supposed to be a deadbeat. You were supposed to be a dropout. You were supposed to never become successful. You were supposed to stay homeless. You were supposed to stay poor. You were supposed to stay hungry. You were supposed to stay broke. You were supposed to stay out of shape. You were supposed to hate yourself. You were supposed to not have love for who you are. You were supposed to not like yourself. A lot of us didn't even like ourselves. Everybody jealous and thinking all these things about us on the low key, thinking highly of us, but in our face, spitting in it and stabbing us in the back. They didn't think it was going to be you. Number one, they didn't think you would survive everything that they put you through, and number two, they didn't think that you would become successful as a result of it. They didn't know that you were going to take all those blows, all those punches, all that pain, and turn it into financial gain. They didn't see that coming, but they weren't supposed to because they would have probably tried to stop it. But they're going to know that if they get in your way in this season, they better get out the way because you're going to trample over them like the scorpions and the snakes that they are. They can think that you weren't going to make it, that's cool. But to actually share their opinion with you and share their thoughts with you, well, I see you working hard, but I don't think you got it in you. You're not going to make it. That's not for you. That's for them. They're successful. You're not. You're like us. You're around us. How are you going to do anything greater than the people that you're around? If we're not hitting it big, what makes you think you can? If we're not rich and successful, what makes you think you are? I've even had people tell me to my face that nobody is rich. No, nobody is rich here. Like, you'll know when you are something when people come to tell you that you're not. You know that people know you are something when people go to tell you that you're not. Anybody that tries to tell you you're poor knows that you're rich. Anybody tries to tell you that you're broke or you're not good or you're like anyone that tries to say something that they know you feel the opposite of, it's because they're trying to convince you of what they want you to think. They may not think that they're wealthy. They may not think that they're healthy or they're rich or they could become successful, but you do. And that's all you need is your own thoughts. Your mind is not theirs. They can feel free to think whatever thoughts they want to think. But it wasn't supposed to be you if you let them tell it. So God wasn't supposed to bless you. Good things aren't supposed to happen to you. You don't need a break. You don't need any assistance. You don't need any help. And it wasn't supposed to be you because they take note of all the good things that have happened to you in your life. They probably witnessed all the good things happening to you into your life because possibly they might have tried to do you some harm and saw how God got you out of it. Do you know how many things you escaped? Do you know how many things that we need to be thankful for that we escaped because our enemies, the ones closest to us, were trying to tear us down, to tear us limb from limb, to decease us, and God just smoothly ushered us on out of that situation. God was there for us when the devil was lying in the bushes waiting to trap you in his deadly snare. All right, everyone thought that it wasn't going to be you. They saw you working hard, they saw you trying, they saw you doing your due diligence, maybe creating your creation, drawing your drawing, painting your painting, speaking your speech, being positive. They didn't expect it to get you anywhere. They didn't expect it to do anything for you. They didn't expect it to result in anything. They thought you were wasting time, playing around, joking around, and not being serious. Everyone has their own idea of themselves, and they don't need other people trying to influence them of that. But when you find other people trying to influence you of your idea of yourself, you're thinking too highly of yourself for their liking. They don't like the fact that you see yourself as royalty, and you know you are, because you can feel the ancient cosmic energy flowing through your veins. You know you're a priestess. You know you're a king. You know you're royalty. You know that you're very high ranked in the spiritual realm. You know these things. And you were picked. God chose you. He said, I want you to do this. He chose them to do what they were supposed to do. But they gave into the evil. They gave into the devil part of themselves, the lowest part of themselves. They gave into their lower nature. And they came to the conclusion that it feels good to be evil. It feels good to do harm. It feels good to be bad. And some people, that's what they like. But I'm not knocking people that choose the route that they choose. Just stay the heck away from me. And don't try to convince me that I can't make it, because that's not something that you want to see. And you know that people don't want to see you make it when they have to come try and tell you what you're not. If I think I'm rich, what does that have to do with you? Is it putting any money in your pocket? Not unless you think it. So the fact that you're trying to stop me from thinking a certain way, while you already have a house, you already have a car, some boats, a whole home, a whole career. What's wrong with me thinking that I'm rich, that I'm successful? What's wrong with me thinking that I can be greater than I already am? What's wrong with me holding on to a positive mindset, a positive affirmation? What's wrong with that? Everyone doesn't think the same. All right, they all thought it was going to be them. It's like Cinderella. It wasn't supposed to be you. That fat foot girl put on that slipper and damn near broke with her old chunky foot self. And no offense to anybody with a chunky foot, but you know damn well that slipper wasn't going to fit you. All right, it's like the other girl who tried to put it on. Foot looked like a whole foot long hoagie. Her foot was a foot. She tried to put that shoe on, and her foot was a foot, and it didn't even fit. She damn near popped the front off of it. Then Cinderella put it on, and it was just right. It was just right. It wasn't supposed to be Cinderella. It wasn't supposed to be her. She wasn't supposed to be the one. She wasn't the prince wasn't supposed to have no liking in her, but he didn't want them two little old raggedy cousins she had. Them little old fugly butt fugly cousins she had. And I'm not talking about their appearance, I'm talking about their spirit. Their spirit was fugly. God don't bless fugly. He don't bless people with fugly spirits. Oh, fugly spirit self. They thought it wasn't supposed to be you. They thought you were supposed to stay broke. They thought you were supposed to stay behind the counter, behind the cash register. All right, they thought you was going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life. You wasn't supposed to get that degree. You wasn't supposed to go to law school. You wasn't supposed to become a heart surgeon. You wasn't supposed to become a dentist. You wasn't supposed to become a world-renowned speaker. You were supposed to stay right underneath their wing, right underneath their negativity, right underneath all the weight they put up on you. You were supposed to stay under that and welcome all the shade throwing, all the low blows. They wanted to put you in a body bag. They wanted you to be in a body bag by the time they got done with you. But God still chose you anyway, because He knows what you're capable of. See, the reason why you have such a close connection with God, because He knows what you're capable of. God draws Himself nigh to you. God always had His hand on your life. He was always especially close to you. All right, you have people that you really like and love, and then you have that one relative where y'all are like this. And guess what? Out of all God's children, the relationship you have with Him and how He views you, you and God are like this. And the other children don't see that. It's like Joseph and his father. Joseph had the coat of many colors. He didn't give it to all the other brothers. Joseph had the coat. They didn't get that coat of many colors. They hated on him and they threw him in a ditch. They said nobody will see him with this coat on. We don't have no fly coat. Let's get rid of him. And that's how they feel about you. They don't have any fly ideas. They feel they don't look fly. They don't feel they're cool enough. They don't feel they're good enough. They don't feel that they're the right one for the job. So they don't want you to feel you're the right one for the job, knowing you're more than qualified. You're overqualified. Overqualified doesn't mean that you can't perform the tasks. It means that it's just a fancy word for saying that you're gonna take everybody's job. You're gonna come in here and be better than everybody else, and we can't have that. You seen that movie Roll Bounce? The little Bow Wow's dad was overqualified. He couldn't get a job, so he had to go be a janitor just to feed his family. That's what they want some of us to do, to take lower positions that we're unworthy of. No one's unworthy of being a janitor and working that job, but if you have qualifications for another job that doesn't entail janitorial work because that's not what you want, then that's beneath you. You study to be a lawyer, you shouldn't be cleaning toilets. You study to be a doctor, you shouldn't be cleaning the bathroom. If you go to school for banking to become a financier, you shouldn't be cleaning bathrooms. Not to say that that's not a bad job. You may be in between jobs, have to work your way up. I've cleaned bathrooms before. There's nothing wrong with cleaning bathrooms. If you're clean, you still clean your bathroom now. You just do it for yourself. But they didn't think it was going to be you. They didn't think you were going to be the one to become successful and be able to spread wealth around. They didn't think that it was gonna that you were going to become anything other than what they knew you to be. And some people is it's very negative because they not it's not that they're just, oh, that's just little this, or oh, that's just cuz, or oh, that's just like, no, they are going ham on you behind your back. This fool can't do that. This idiot can't do that. Like they're harshly speaking on us. That dumb this ain't gonna be nothing. Like they say to themselves, or like away from you, curses and spells. They curse your name, they curse your destiny, they curse your path. They have jokes and meetings just to get up and speak about you and say how much you ain't this or how much you ain't that. And another thing is they talk bad about how you feel about yourself. Oh, they think they're this, they think they're that. Well, guess what? The ones that think you're everything, they think they're nothing. They think that they're nothing, because if they thought they were somebody, they wouldn't be speaking illy of you like that. If they knew how good God was, they wouldn't be speaking of you like that. These are people that are jealous of your connection with the Most High. People who are heavily connected with God, they don't need too many friends. They don't need too many people around them because God's protecting them. A lot of fake people roll in crowds. A lot of snakes roll in crowds, hissing and slithering, biting each other. You don't want to be in that pit of snakes trying to find out who's real, who's fake. A pit of snakes is a snake pit is a snake pit. Last time I checked, God didn't care what they wanted, and that's what makes them upset. They thought you might have been too goofy. They thought you might not have been cool enough. They thought you might have been corny. Some of you have been called corny by people you love. You know, man, you can't make it. You're corny. They taking low key, taking shots at you to discourage you. And I understand playing around, understand ha ha he he, understand laughter, jokes, all that. But some of these people's jokes are harsh, and it's like, oh, this, that, and the other. The stuff they're saying is meant to discourage you. And I mean, I'm not one to care about what people think, because like you see, I'm still rolling. People can say what they want to me, and I'm still gonna do what I want to them. Ignore them, be successful, and live my life like it's golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden, golden. Let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Got some conversation, something Drew Nation. All right. Um, don't care what these people think, man. Like, they're mad because you got picked for what you're supposed to do and you're doing it. Whatever they were selected for, they're not doing it. God picks us all to do something. Each and every one of us has a purpose. Each and every one of us has a calling on our life. Many are called, few are chosen. Not many people are going to pick up the call. Hey, yo, God's calling. Man, I ain't picking that up. That's too much work. He gonna require me to do right, be right, do what I have to do. I'm good on that. They leave God hanging. You leave God hanging. Guess what? You leave your blessing hanging. God's not blessing those that don't pick up the calling on their life. God put you here to help people. He put you here to inspire others. He put you here to save somebody's life because you're saving them from themselves. And God gave you your purpose to save you from yourself. You know how many people have gifts and talents that were living in terrible poverty-stricken conditions. They were like, man, if it wasn't for my music, if it wasn't for my clothing designs, if it wasn't for my cakes, if it wasn't for my cookies, my pies, if it wasn't for these sandwiches that I make, if it wasn't for these nails that you're doing, if it wasn't for that hair that you're doing, if it wasn't for them haircuts you're doing, people know that their purpose saved their life. People know that God granted them the permission to use that skill to not only free them from the matrix, but to free them from poverty and free them from a poverty-stricken area where people are killing you over a can of soup, where people are killing, like you think you bought some food, you about to go home and eat it, you getting robbed for that. Nah, that's mine. Give me that. I just watched you. You just watched me buy that and pay for it. I don't care. Come up off that. You think somebody's going to want to stay in that situation for long? If they're smart, they're going to use their gifts and their talents to get the hell up out of there. Something real serious. Fast as a heart attack, God forbid. They didn't think it was going to be you. You was just a little man. You was just a watcher. You were just the observer. You're quiet. You don't talk. You don't do what they do. You're not cool like them. They don't respect you. And it was still you. God still chose you. They talk about you behind your back like you got 12 heads and 17 eyes. And God still chose you. They called you ugly, stupid, lame, corny, said all these bad things about you, called you names. And guess what? God still chose you because he didn't care what they wanted. God's going to pick the person that's best suited for the job. Instead of answering the call in their life, they're laughing at you for picking up the phone. Who you talking to? That God? Yes, you are. You talking to the Most High. You talking to Yahweh Shai. You're talking to the Creator of the universe. That's who you talk to. That's why you know not to believe them. You know not to worship what they say. You know not to make their word your God. They want you to they want you to put life in their words. And their words don't even put life within themselves. So what makes you think you're gonna put what makes them think you're gonna put death into you with their words and how they choose to speak and how they choose to view you? They didn't think you would be anything. They didn't think you would graduate. They didn't think you would get out of high school. They didn't think you'd get out of college. You might have even dropped out of college. They didn't think you would pick up yourself. They didn't think you would uplift yourself. They didn't think you would start that business. They didn't think you would become successful because you didn't show them. You didn't tell them all your plans. You didn't try to prove to them. That's what they want. They want you to prove who you are to them so they can set you up and manipulate you to seek their validation constantly. And they will try to manipulate you. Oh, you think you feeling yourself? You think you better than us? No, I'm not allowing you to manipulate me, and I'm not letting you to think that I can't do it when I know I can, because I was picked. God chose me to do what I'm doing, so I'm going to do it. If God chose you to do what you're going to do, you do that. We all have callings on our lives. We all have something that we're supposed to be doing that's going to help someone, that's going to save a life, that's going to lift somebody's spirit up. And if you don't do it, you're missing out on your blessing, because you working on yourself to help others, that's your tithing to the universe. When you help people more than you're paid for. When you want to see others become successful and make it, no matter what, no matter how better they are than you. Some people, you're better than them, and they don't want to see good things happen to you. All right, so you were picked. Whether you draw, whether you coach, whether you braid hair, do nails, makeup, massage, whether you sell cakes, cookies, pies, you were picked. There's something for each and every one of us to do, And you're here to do it. That's your purpose here on this planet. And everyone thought it wasn't going to be you that God selected to do what it is you're doing. And now they have to watch you win. They have to watch you succeed. They have to watch you take off like a skyrocket. They have to watch your life improve because you know they're watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.